that corporations were granted all of the rights of individuals. And at the same time, all of you wonderful natural-born individuals were assigned corporate status. That's your name in all capital letters. Oh, you guys are starting to learn a lot more about that, I know. Power overcame law. Corporate rule overcame government by the people for the people. Not just in this country, but everywhere. Notice, you can't have ethics unless you have some power first. If you're running for your life, ethics is one of the last considerations you're going to have. But when you can at least hold your own ground, then you can start establishing your personal integrity and presenting ethics. Consciousness had to provide the power first before the finer tuning or steering could come into effect, the ethics. And that's what we're in right now. Now there is another cycle, the last cycle of this Mayan calendar. It's called the Universal Consciousness Cycle. It begins February 10th, 2011. And this whole consciousness cycle is conscious co-creation. Conscious co-creation. That's what this evolution has been all about. It is us rejoining creation as knowing creators. We've had a lapse of our memory for whatever reason or whatever. I think it's been all part of a very elaborate and entertaining game. Myself, one that's taken quite a few million years, if not a billion years, to work our way up and out of the whole problem. This conscious co-creation is why we're here. I mean, it's obvious that we're co-creating this experience, isn't it? I mean, if you weren't here, ma'am, this event wouldn't be happening. It'd be different. So we are co-creating this experience. If I wasn't here, this wouldn't be happening at all. So we're co-creating, and we've been doing that with everyone in every situation all of our lives. Just not as consciously as we could we wished.
I have a question.
Sure.
If we're in day 4 of ethics, how long of a time span is that?
Good. Over here on this side, the blue numbers, what that describes is how long one of these days or nights are. There's 7 days to each of these levels of creation and 6 nights. But one of these days on this first level was 1.26 billion years long. Things were moving really slow. But the very next one is only 63.4 million years long. In other words, 20 times shorter. Same amount of change, same amount of evolution, but 20 times faster. In the very next cycle, 20 times faster again, and again, and again, and again. We have an explanation or an example of how this consciousness affects our lives. For instance, we were all born right in around here somewhere in this cycle. Things were changing one of these days and nights every 19.7 years. And all of us were born to some very nice people who raised us up as best they could until we got to be 11 to 16, somewhere in there. And we started noticing something about these people who claimed to be our parents. There was something, I mean, no matter how politely you went about this or not, there was something obviously missing in these folks.
Our true relationship became apparent.
Oh, yeah, very apparent. Although how we could have evolved from that was a mystery. These guys, your parents, it became kind of obvious that they were slow. Not quite able to pick up information as quickly as you could and apply it to positive solutions. Well, that difference was called the generation gap. And the generation gap was 20 years long by study. So what we have here is the difference between your viewpoint and your parents' viewpoint is the difference between this and that. No matter how long it took to change, that's how much change there was in consciousness. Now, the same amount of change that was happening every 20 years is happening every 360 days.
Ooh.
Does it look to you like time is speeding up? Okay, now we know for sure it's not. Creation is speeding up. There's more happening in less time. And that's been the pattern for 16 billion years now. More and more and more is happening in every moment than ever was available before in any civilization, anywhere, everywhere. When more is possible to happen in every moment, there's more possible outcomes, which opens the door to things called miracles. Things that weren't possible to happen that quickly are now possible. Like cell phones, for instance. You want to call France? You can do it on the corner. That was completely impossible. Even here. 1999. That was not impossible. So we're going to see more and more acceleration, more and more coming to be possible, more and more opportunities, and that's mostly what we're going to be talking about tonight. That and this ethics and integrity. We have certain tools in our possession. You don't have to buy anything, you don't have to study anything, you don't have to meditate, you don't have to do nothing except just participate consciously in more possibility. That's all we need to do. So, this, I could run through this just a little bit, but I think I'm not going to do that tonight. The developments that happened. The fifth day and the fifth night are big events in each one of these cycles. We're coming up on another fifth day right out here. Maybe we'll talk about it toward the end.
I was going to say, could you just pick a couple that were the most paramount?
I'll pick some that are no, why not? Here we go. During the fifth day is when things really get going in any one of these cycles. The first one was the development of our solar system. The second one was when life moved out of the water, it developed down in the water, onto land during the fifth day. During this period of time, color vision occurred. During this time, man discovered fire during that fifth day. In this fifth day, art. In this fifth day, this is when Jesus' message was going out all over the planet. Then here, in the last fifth day, was when we got, this was 1913 to 1932, and this is E equals MC squared, and also Mr. Hubble discovered that we lived in an infinite universe. So we got the blueprint of our reality with the theory of relativity, and we got the idea that we live in an infinite universe where everything is possible. Big opening for consciousness. Now during the nights, remember there's all kinds of stuff going on, but what happened here was 250 million years of meteor bombardment on the planet. All the leftover junk in the solar system slamming into the planets and moons. The moon still has all the scars. Here in the fifth night, 97% of all life was wiped out in the Perm-Jurassic extinction period. Here we don't know exactly what happened. Don't have enough data yet. But here, 680,000 years ago, we had the Ice Age. Good thing we had fire, huh?
Fire and ice.
I'm telling you, especially when you get into the detail of this, you're going to see very, very plainly that consciousness has been provided exactly the tools that was needed to go to the next step.